everyone, and welcome to today's Wild Rift video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a new rune I've been running on Varus to give you the most amount of damage possible. The big thing, of course, with Varus since his rework a few patches ago is he's now building more attack speed items and more ability power, so you can deal more on-hit damage with your second ability. So we want to run some runes that give us the most amount of ability power possible. And one rune which you can get insane value for when playing dual lane is actually going to be Zombie Ward. Zombie Ward gives you AD or ability power every single time that you clear a ward. So what I actually do in the early game is I take Sweeper instead of taking the pink ward, and this allows me to clear through multiple wards during the laning phase. Sometimes you can get the maximum 5 wards before 4 or 5 minutes into the game. Of course, it's going to give you AD in the early game because you are going for Berserker's Greaves, but I'm going to show you a little trick that's going to turn that AD into ability power in the early game to give you an insane amount of value. Now, I have to say, the gameplay wise of this game is not the best. There's a few interesting plays, you could say. This is one of them. You should never fight. You know how I said about like killing wards, you can get wards, get more ability power? You can tell I got baited by the ward in this early laning phase. You should never fight a Lucian army at level 1. It was a really bad mistake. You need to at least wait until you're level 2 with Varus so you have your second ability. But yeah, fighting level 1 against Lucian army is not that great. But we did get ward number 1. That is really, really huge. So basically how Zombie Ward works is that some people actually might not know that Zombie Ward has changed. So Zombie Ward now, you only need to attack the ward once to be able to get the stack. And this is something that Riot has never mentioned in any patch notes and has actually been in the game for quite a long time. So all you have to do is when you're clearing through a ward, as long as you auto attack it once, you gain the extra bonus stack. And not only does this help you with giving you extra damage, but it's also helps you with vision as well. It gives you that extra ward that you can put in a bush to give you that extra little bit of vision to help you with, you know, defending yourself against ganks or anything like that. Now, this does work with adaptive damage. So as I mentioned in the early game, you're going to be getting AD because you build Berserker's Greaves, which gives you the attack damage in the early game. So you can see here, you can see I'm using Sweeper. Now, even though I only attacked that ward once, I'm actually still going to be getting the stack towards the big 5 stacks that you're looking for. Clear 5 wards and you're able to get it. You see there, I lost hit the zombie ward there, but that's completely fine. And you can see the enemy's dual lane is just placing ward after ward after ward, and I get an insane amount of value early on with how many wards gets dropped in this early game. You can see here, there you go, look at that, 4 out of 5 stacks already in this early game. So I already have 12 adaptive force, which in this state is going to be AD that I'm going to be getting. So I only need to kill 1 more ward and I already have 4 stacks of zombie wards. Already I have 12 extra AD in the early game, which is still really, really good. You know, 12 extra AD is actually insane for the early stages of the game. And you can see here with the burst damage that you have from Varus with your second ability plus your first ability as well, it makes a huge difference. Now with Zombie Ward, you are going to be replacing Bone Plating as your secondary summoner, secondary rune, sorry. But that is completely fine because the extra damage that you have with Varus with Zombie Ward is going to give you a lot of value and actually allow you to do an insane amount of damage. You can see Vi here going for the tower dive. Not really the smartest play to make, but does get a kill, but trades kill. At least Nami got the kill. It's not too bad, but tower dive in a Nami when Lucian was coming back was a little bit difficult. But you can see that, of course, because I'm building Berserker's Greaves in the early game, I get attack damage, so adaptive damage is going to be AD. Same with Nash's Tooth as well as you build a first item. But you'll see that after Nash's Tooth, I buy 1 Amplifying Tome. And that's all you need. As long as you buy 1 Amplifying Tome, you can turn that adaptive AD damage into AP damage instead. And of course, what does AP damage or what does ability power give Varus? More auto attack damage from his second ability. And Varus is one of the only unique champions that can really benefit a lot from going Zombie Ward and getting the ability power instead of the AD. I made a little bit of a misplay there and actually getting bubbled when I was charging my first ability. We could have easily killed Nami there, but I made a little bit of a misplay. But like I said, Varus is one of the only champions where you can actually get ability power instead of AD to give you the insane amount of value. You can see Lucian here flashing forward, trying to use ultimate. Oh, this is when I baited Lucian with barrier. I've been using barrier a lot lately as well. Like, barrier's actually giving me insane amount of value in games at the moment in Wild Rift. Like, I'm running barrier in 90% of my games because people just get baited by barrier so much in Wild Rift. They don't respect that barrier can give you a huge shield. So dash forward when you're low on HP, you press barrier and you just win the 2 versus 2, which is exactly what Lucian done there. You can see he was playing a bit too over aggressive when I had barrier up and available. So it's always important to keep an eye on summon spells before you enter a game of Wild Rift. So I haven't showed yet, but I do have 5 out of 5 wards already with zombie ward, which is absolutely crazy. We're probably going to be able to get the first tower of the game here eventually. Yep, first tower of the game secured. I'm going to clear this next wave, and I think I go back to base, and this is where I can actually showcase how much value and how much AP that you can get with zombie ward. So there you go here. So at the moment I have 5 out of 5 zombie ward stacks, you just saw, and I have 25 adaptive damage, which is 25 attack damage. I buy 1 amplifying tome, and look, it turns into 50 ability power. So you go from 25 AD to 50 ability power. Now, in general, this is not going to work on a lot of AD carries. You're only really going to be getting the value from the 25 AD, which, to be honest, is still a lot. 25 AD on someone like Xayah or Corki or anyone like that is really, really good. But Varus is one of the best users of this rune because you can get an insane amount of value with the ability power, and you get the extra on-hit damage from your second ability. So I already have 50 extra ability power already. It's 5 minutes into the game and I've got 50 extra ability power, which is absolutely crazy. And as I mentioned, in terms of gameplay, this is maybe not the best game to showcase. You can tell that some of the plays that I make in this game are very questionable. Like my flash forward there, I auto casted my ultimate, and for some reason it just didn't go onto Morgana, even though I flashed right next to Morgana, which was a little bit weird. I was trying to flash ulti and catch up Morgana, but unfortunately it didn't work. But yeah, I think this already showcases in this early game how much value you can get from zombie ward in the early game, and how much extra damage now. Like you're seeing my, oh, I got caught here as well. Like there are so many misplays that I make this game. Actually, it's crazy. There's some limit testing that happens in this game, but you'll see that a little bit later on when I actually start to auto attack and start to deal damage, that you'll see that my auto attacks do a lot of damage now, because I have my second ability, I have my blighted stacks, and then I have the burst damage from my piercing arrow as well, my first ability, and the damage you get is just absolutely absurd. Absolutely crazy. Just gonna head down to the bot lane now though, because you can see that there's like 3 waves of minions for me to catch in that bot lane, so I wanted to grab them and try and get the extra gold. Always very important as an AD carry that you want to make sure that you go to the lane that really has the most amount of gold there, like that has all the minions, that has all the gold. Because as an AD carry, you're still a scaling champion. You still need to get up to, you know, 2-3 items before you can actually be useful in these team fights. So you can see that I still keep Sweeper as well. I don't mind Sweeper. I think Sweeper is actually very important to at least have 1 Sweeper on your team, because then you can actually walk around and clear through a lot of wards, which of course in Wild Rift there's not a lot of wards in the game. So if you can clear through some wards, then it can already give you a lot of value and a lot of insane work. You can see there, I completely int again. I ulti onto Nami, and then Varus just dashes onto me. I QSS completely the wrong time, because I QSS after the Nami wave got hit, which I should QSS as the Nami wave gets hit, because with QSS you can actually negate knockups or negate crowd control when you get CC'd, like just before you get CC'd. There's like a little timing, like I think it's 0.75 seconds if I'm not mistaken, where you can actually stop getting knocked up beforehand. But the main focus of this gameplay was to show you what you can get with zombie ward and how you can get insane amount of value in the bot lane, because every time that you play bot lane, the enemy support and the enemy AD carry are always going to place wards, because they want to get the bush control in the bot lane, they want to get control in the river as well, and make sure that they can actually, you know, make sure that they don't get ganked, make sure they don't get caught out by anyone. So you taking something like Sweeper and clearing through multiple wards and having zombie wards is really huge. And like I said, the big thing now is that, and not a lot of people know this, that zombie ward, the only way, the Also, I hate this skin, by the way. I always pick this skin because it has really cool effects. Every single time that I lost hit a minion, the passive goes off and that noise just triggers the living hell out of me. And of course I die again because I'm recalling a bad spot. And actually at this point I was reading Twitch chat. This is actually one of the games I played on stream yesterday. Some of you might recognize this, some of you might not. I completely lost my train of thought there. What was I talking about? Yeah, so in terms of wards, like the dual lane are always going to place wards. You can also go zombie ward on like mid lane, for example. Mid lane can also be good. But like I said, you get a lot more value from the ability power than the AD. So that's why you won't see a lot of AD champions taking a zombie ward, but you actually see mid laners, AP mid laners take zombie wards a lot. Also, supports can take zombie ward. If you're playing someone like Zyra, if you're playing Morgana's support, Lux, Rakan, Nami, like if you're a champion that benefits a lot from ability power, you can also take zombie ward because, like I said, 50 ability power is a crazy amount and it can do a crazy amount of work. You can see here, I even missed my ulti again. Why am I showcasing this gameplay? Can anyone tell me why I'm showcasing this gameplay? I'm pretty sure at this point, like I was just... Yeah, I'm missing every single ulti. I'm missing every single ability. And this is... yeah. I think I remember why I showcased this gameplay. It's because of a play I made later on in the game. But this mid-game has been pretty diabolical for my standards. This has been a pretty bad mid-game for me. But we'll soon work it out. We'll soon make it work. You'll see in later on, you know, once I get a few items and once I actually start auto-attacking and stop running it down, that actually gets a huge amount of value. But I think this is actually like, sometimes this is my play style though. Like sometimes I play a bit too aggressive and sometimes I go a little bit too far when I don't actually need to. Like I just push way too far in team fights and I try and get picks. My mindset is still very much like a support, even though I've played like AD carry now for like the past 3-4 years in Wild Rift. My mindset is still set on like supports and how supports play. Like you walk up, you try and make plays, you try and hit your Ashe arrow or hit your Varus ulti in like ADC instance. But since I played support for so long on PC League, like sometimes I get into the mindset of I need to be the one to make the play. I need to be the one that engages. And sometimes I go in, sometimes my positioning is absolutely terrible in team fights and I just get completely caught off, or I just miss an ability and it just goes to Narnia and I just get into a terrible spot. So I'm clearing through the mid lane wave here because I want to make sure that the enemy team doesn't take oh, I nearly died here as well. I make sure here that the enemy team doesn't take Baron. Me clearing the mid wave actually distracted the enemy team from taking Baron, which was quite nice for my Vi was actually soloing Dragon by herself, which was quite nice. But I mean, it would have been nice for the Vi to actually help us instead of going towards Dragon by herself. Zyra just flashed underneath tower and just randomly used the ulti as well. A little bit interesting. Grandmaster, by the way. I mean, yeah, I can't really talk too much this game. I can't really talk much this game because I also entered pretty hard in multiple occasions this game, so I shouldn't really be able to talk too much. There you go. Sweeper coming in handy as well, giving us a few extra zombie wards, which is quite nice. I mean, everyone here is so low, and you can see that I'm going to start to do quite a lot of damage in these fights with how much damage. I mean, as soon as you get 2 items with Varus, you get Nash's Tooth, you get Rune's Hurricane. It's so nice how much damage you're able to deal with your auto attacks. I think I have an 80% win rate on Varus this season. That's like with legendary Q and normal rank combines. So I have a crazy amount. You can see here, like, look, I overextend and I limit test way too much in this game. And I'm looking back at this game and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell am I doing? I actually buy, oh, this is actually the game that I buy Force of Nature as well. Because they have Morgana, Zyra, Mordekaiser, and someone else. I can't remember. But look at the Vi, by the way. The Vi is inting underneath tower when the entire of my team is taking Baron. Vi could have easily just taken Baron there, but doesn't want to. And then my Ziggs dies to Baron as well. And then, yeah, it becomes an absolute disaster at this point because they steal the Baron and... yeah, we just leashed it for them in the end. No idea why Vi went for the dive underneath tier 2 tower, but hey ho, what can you do? Sometimes, I mean, I also made a bad play. I also got caught mid lane, but even though I got caught in mid lane, we were still able to get like an even trade. And that even trade should easily turn towards Baron, but I guess it doesn't in the end. Like I said, I can't really talk too much this game anyway, because I completely run it down this game. But like I said, the big thing that I wanted to show this game was just how strong zombie ward can be and how you can get really early stacks with zombie wards. And then you can see, oh, Mordekaiser helped me a little bit with the push. Not bad. I'm only starting to realize now how loud that sound is. I don't really notice it in the game because I'm so like tunnel visioned and I'm so focused on the game. But now I'm listening to the game back. The sound from the passive with the skin is just way too loud. I don't even know why it's this loud. Like, it's absolutely disgusting. So I'm going to try push through mid lane here and try and get this tower. Morgana is going to try her best to try and kill me, but I don't think she actually does in the end. One more Q. Snipe. Oh, she flashed away. Unlucky. I didn't have my ulti up as well. If I had my ulti up, I probably would have been fine. I mean, you can see how annoying Morgana is as well. She just walks up, uses her pull, and just does a shit ton of damage. They have another AP champion on team, and I can't remember who it is. Nami. Oh, that's the one. Yeah, they also have Nami. So I was thinking this game, I was like, what AP magic resist item do I have to build into this composition? And I was thinking there's actually no AP magic resist item in Wild Rift, is there? So I was like, I guess I have to go for a tank item. So I'll go for Force of Nature just to give me some more movement speed when I'm taking magic damage or when I'm running around in team fights. So I'll try my best and get Force of Nature, and then hopefully the extra movement speed can help me try and, you know, dodge some of these abilities. But I go back here, buy Force of Nature. Everyone's probably thinking right now, why are you buying a tank item on that? I mean, to be fair, after you get 3 items, you're completely fine. Yeah, you're really chilling when it comes to 3 items. 3 items and you're chilling with Varus. You don't even really need any more damage after the 3 items. Once you get 3 items, once you get Nash's, Runan's, Riftmaker, you have more than enough damage there. So now I feel a little bit more confident. Oh, well, I mean, I felt confident this entire game, but I've been completely running it down at the same time as well. My Vi dies top lane again and gets caught whilst we're taking Dragon, which is a little bit unlucky. And I think my Rammus might die here as well. Yeah, my Rammus also dies. You can tell I'm a little bit tilted by this Vi. I don't know why I'm tilted, because I should be tilted. Actually, no, I do remember saying during the stream that I'm also inting, but there's a difference between limit testing and completely running it down. And yeah, this Vi was completely running it down. Got nice ulti off here onto Zyra. Unfortunately mistimed the stasis effect there, but that's completely fine. But watch this damage, by the way. Watch me glide through this fight. You'll see how crazy this fight is. Actually, I have so much tankiness and movement speed as well from Force of Nature. Flash out the Morgana ulti. Oh my. The spread damage from Rune's Hurricane. Oh my god, that was beautiful. And that was the whole reason why I wanted to record this video. I completely inted the whole game, but sometimes you have a bad game, but all it takes is one game and one team fight, one little fight, and you end the game just like that. That's Wild Rift in a nutshell. Never quit is always the question. Always the answer that I have. Let me look at our teammates as well this game. The Vi and the Ziggs is like, yeah, guys, we're taking Baron, and me and Rammus are just ending the game. like, why are we taking Baron when there's a huge bot lane, and we can just end the game like that? There you go. A pretty poor game overall, I would say, for my standards. Like, the early game and the mid game was really bad for my standard, but I think this game just shows that sometimes you just need one play in a late game team fight. You might have a bad game. It might be a little bit unfortunate. You might limit test a little bit too much, but later on you can get an insane amount of value. So like I said, this game I got zombie ward in 4 minutes. 4 minutes this game, which is absolutely crazy. You see my damage there in the end. 41,000 damage, the most damage in the entire game, which is absolutely crazy. And my build as well, you can see the standard Varus build. But like I said, the big thing with this build is that you go for zombie ward. You then buy an amplifying tome after your first item to turn that early AD into ability power, so you can get the extra on hit damage. Hopefully you enjoyed the gameplay anyway. I mean, I don't really post a lot of content of me running it down, but I definitely did run it down this game until the final team fight, and you can see 20,000 gold in the end as well. I had a lot of gold and a lot of damage this game, so you can see the value that you get from zombie ward, and that extra damage came in pretty handy. So yeah, until next time, take care, have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next Wilder video. Peace.